Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fleming Film Show. I am joined with Justin Doyle as always as we count down our top 5 performances by the one and only Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, he has a distinctive voice.
He does. And also, before I go into this, I just want to add he does kind of play similar roles.
Yeah, his face is so the same. It doesn't like morph into anything. So it was tough for me because I feel like he plays similar roles. He doesn't really like you always know it's Benedict Cumberbatch. It's never like he doesn't really hide into his characters because it's just his face and his way of being is so distinct. You just know it's him.
Exactly. Since you started off last time, is it okay if I start this time?
Yes, please do.
Alright, so my number 5 is more of like cameo role, but like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs or Amanda Seyfried in Mank. This is a short but memorable performance, and it does try and highlight this scene, especially because it's a really vital scene in this movie. And I love this movie from start to finish, and it does have other big name actors pop up like in each scene. My number 5 is him as the Colonel in 1917. Again, only like a 5-minute role, but it's still a very powerful performance by Cumberbatch, and that's why it's slightly made the list because, along with obviously George McKay, who's playing the protagonist, he really elevates like that one scene he's in, and he just does it so well. As does Colin Firth as well as the General. But yeah, I think 1917 highlighted lots of good performances, and Benedict Cumberbatch was definitely one of the highlights of this movie acting wise, and that's why I put it at number 5.
Yeah, he's my favorite performance in that movie actually, and along because these kids have a stops along the way, and that's my favorite stop is when they stop with Cumberbatch. It's a good performance. Very good pick.
Yeah, what have you picked?
So my number 5, we talked about how he has a very distinctive voice, one that you just know it's Benedict Cumberbatch, and I think that they paired him up with this character because it's the voice. It's the same one. It's just we just never knew that they were going to match up so well. I don't really care for this movie, but I do think because the voice acting is so perfect that he deserves, credit for his performance, his voice acting performance in a lesser good version of this story, and it's Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. I love Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. I just think those two pair perfectly. They're just when I was a kid, when you watch that little 20-minute Grinch special, that is now Benedict Cumberbatch. It's been 20 years, 30 years now, and we just finally got the live Grinch. He is the Grinch. He has the smirk. He has the voice. He has kind of like a seemingly cold heart. We don't know how he is. He could have a warm heart, but he does play villains very, very well. And the Grinch is a villain in a way. And I just love his voice. And even though I don't really care for the movie, I think his voice acting is spot on and perfect for the Grinch.
Surely he's not as good as Jim Carrey was.
No, absolutely not. Well, Jim Carrey embodied the Grinch, where I just think that Benedict Cumberbatch is the Grinch. Like Jim had to actually act, where Benedict, this is him. This is perfect character for him.
I couldn't see Jim Carrey like doing it with Benedict doing the voice. That would be weird.
That would be really weird. Yeah. No, Jim gave it his own sort of spin and take on it because he's a master.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. That's my favourite line in that film. You ready for
All
my
right.
you ready for my number 4?
Hit me with it.
My number 4 is a recent movie. It came out on Amazon Prime this year, and it also stars Jodie Foster, and it's the Mauritanian. Now, when you go into this film, you think that he's going to be a very big antagonist, but logically, you don't really know who to debate sides on in the Mauritania. It's a very complex film, but there were times when I saw that Benedict's character had a point, even though I wasn't sure whether he was meant to be the villain of the movie. But he was playing like out of these like movies, he kind of plays somebody more different, a character that we've not seen him really play, and I think this is probably why it made my top five because he was different in this film, and I think he stood out quite well as well. I feel like his performance is a bit overlooked because obviously Jodie and the main guy were obviously nominated a lot, but yeah, I think Benedict it has a really strong role in this film, and that's why it's my number four.
Yeah, just missed my list. I really like The Mauritanian as a movie itself is really good. But yeah, I don't think I just think he got overlooked. The rest of the movie and performances outshine him in this. It's not bad though. I mean, he's really good actor, and yeah, you just kind of well, at least I do. I just remember other people and actors in that. But solid movie, really solid movie, and solid choice.
Thank you.
All right, coming in at number four, this movie had some struggles, and even when it was released, nobody watched it, nobody talked about it, nobody's talking about it now. It's based on a true story. Um, it's a period piece. I just love the performance by Benedict Cumberbatch in this. Obviously, I don't really care about the names involved, which are Tesla, Westinghouse, and Edison. But Benedict Cumberbatch plays Thomas Alva Edison in the movie. The current war, the director's cut, which is super strange because it initially came out as the current war and then was re-released as the current war director's cut because Alfonso Gomez Rion had to rename it for some reason. But yeah, this is a story about the race to electricity from Edison, Westinghouse, and Tesla. And Benedict Cumberbatch as Edison just nailed it. He's so damn good in this film. Him and Michael Shannon are just amazing actors, and they work really well together. But I really just like Benedict's performance. I mean, it's like I said, how we always know it's him. But this time he kind of got lost in Edison, and that has something that says something about his performance. I just with a movie that just kind of flew under the radar and didn't get a lot of praise or love. I enjoyed the performance. It's a fine film, but the performances are what really sold me, and I really liked Benedict Cumberbatch as Edison. It was believable because I think Benedict comes off as like a proper gentleman, and this is the perfect character for him because he kind of got to portray that.
Yeah, yeah, I've not seen that one, but I will check it out. So I'm interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not really my sort of like sort of thing that I watch, but it made me interested. The director also directed Me, Earl of the Dying Girl, which I highly recommend.
Is that the one with Olivia Cooking?
Yes.
Nice, I'll check that out. I like Olivia Cook. You ready for my number three?
Are you? Yeah, you're number three. Yeah.
Alright, so my number three is a role he started off in 2016. And
Hold on one second, Rob. You're staticky. I don't know if maybe your microphone is being rubbed up against something. Or...
Hello. Much better?
Much better. Yeah.
Perfect. I just moved my laptop a bit close. Sorry, I'll edit this bit out. Right, so my number three is a role he started in 2016, and I think this is a role that he's done every year since. This is a Marvel Cinematic Universe character, and it's Doctor Strange. I think he was born to play this role. With Doctor Strange, he really reminds me of the Marvel version of Sherlock, and because Benedict played Sherlock in the show, this is how he's gotten like all these roles really. But yeah, Doctor Strange is probably his most successful since obviously Sherlock's been finished, and I know I just think he really suits the role as Doctor Strange. I can't see another actor playing him. He plays him so well because of how he fits in with his arc and stuff. And I can't wait to see more of him because we're getting him in the Spider-Man movie, and we're getting a new Doctor Strange film next year, which I'm really looking forward to.
Spoiler alert! I don't watch trailers. But I have seen a still of Doctor Strange hitting um, Spider-Man and boys coming out. What's his name? Peter Parker comes out. Yeah. I've seen that still. So, but yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh, I just thought you'd know because he's in the. Because obviously he was announced before the trailer came out.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, no, the Doctor Strange into the multiverse or whatever, right? That's the Doctor Strange movie. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that. Plus, we also know that WandaVision has some crossover with that. Everyone, yeah, everyone's crossing over with everybody.
Yeah,
But yeah, Doctor Strange is an iconic character. Benedict Cumberbatch, will live on forever with that character. So that's a good move.
yeah. What's your number three?
Okay, my number three is a part of a different franchise. Pretty successful though overall, not as successful as Marvel. This movie is directed by J.J. Abrams. It is a movie that came out in 2013. It's a sequel, and it's a fun film. But what is most memorable to me is Benedict Cumberbatch's performance again as a villain. Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. It's what we've been talking about. Sometimes people are just born to play the role, and Doctor Strange, absolutely. The Grinch, perfect. I also think he was born to play Khan. This is such a menacing character, but likable, if that's possible. He's just so damn likable as a villain in Khan, and he has great dialogue and monologues in this movie. He really gets to shine, but also, yeah, be a part of a franchise and step into it and able to play ball with all the other characters who already did it so well in Star Trek. So I just got to give my hats off to Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan because I'm not a big villain sort of guy. I'm more of like a hero guy, but I really, really, really like Khan as a character and as a villain in the series, and it's because Benedict Cumberbatch played it so well. My number three is Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness.
Even though I'm not big on Star Trek, that's actually a good choice.
Yeah, same. I don't really care for the movies too much, but I just really, really like Khan. It's a great character.
Yeah. So, are you ready for my number two?
Yeah, let's hit it.
My number two is a movie I managed to see early. It comes out to Netflix on December 1st. I don't really want to ruin this movie because I want people to see it. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. It's Jane Campion's comeback movie. It's Power of the Dog. And I think he was brilliant as this rancher who was arrogant. And I thought because of how well Campion's directing was, he got to play a character he suited really perfectly, and he had really good chemistry with the rest of the cast. He kind of showed them all how it's done. I mean, Jesse Plemons was probably my second favourite. Benedict is the reason why people need to watch this movie on Netflix. December 1st it comes out. My number two is Power of the Dog.
Yeah, I've seen this movie as well, but because it hasn't been released, I left it off my list. I probably would have put it I probably would have taken out the current one and put it there. Um, but yeah, his performance in this movie is really, really well done, and he has Oscar buzz for it. Because yeah, his performance is a powerhouse. Like he's pretty much in almost every frame of the movie, and He does really well in every single frame of that movie. And it's an interesting movie. It's kind of a slog. It's a little slow, but the performances are really what drive it. So good choice. I recommend people seeing that December 1st.
And your Silver?
Yeah. So speaking of Oscar buzz, this movie he was nominated for Best Actor, and it's interesting. It's a movie that, again, I just normally don't really care for. I'm not into it. I love war movies, but this war, his war was with computers and mathematics, and that was in the Imitation Game, where Benedict Cumberbatch plays Alan Turing. Um, and yeah, this is a movie where he cracked the German Enigma code. With his mathematics to help win the war. He's a silent, hero, pretty much. This movie also stars Keira Knightley, which was really well performed by her. Yeah, Mark Strong as well. This is just there's a reason why he was nominated for Best Actor. I mean, he's in every single frame. It's a smart performance, and he played this character so well. He has his own sort of darkness inside of him that does come to light in the movie. But the way that Benedict sort of contained it within himself and within the character was really smart, and I think that this whole performance was from him was just a smart performance. And I'm sure he was casted because he kind of has that sort of Turing sort of stature and way about him. So, yeah, I mean, he's nominated for Best Actor. I think it's the only time he was. So it's got to be a really good performance, and I do think it's a really good performance, and that's why the Imitation Game, Benedict Cumberbatch playing Alan Turing is my number two.
And I'll bounce off you because that's my number one. My number one would have been Sherlock, but we were restricted to film, so I'll just go with the Imitation Game. Yeah, I really like his performance as Alan Turing. It really shows that he's both capable in movies and TV, not just both. You have movie stars and you have TV stars. He manages to be both. And the Imitation Game really showed that. And I'm glad he was nominated for the Oscar. I really hope he gets nominated for more, whether it's actor or best supporting actor. I can't hope he wins and gets more nominations because he is a fantastic actor. And the Imitation Game can't help prove that because if it wasn't for the Imitation Game, he'd just be a one-note actor with Sherlock.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It totally elevated him to a leading, male actor who has a lot of potential years to come. I mean, you and I have seen it in The Power of the Dog, and as everyone else will when it releases. But yeah, it's a great movie, and it is performance driven, and he's the reason why it was so successful.
Yeah, definitely. And your number one?
My number one. This is a movie that is a part of a franchise, and it is also a voice character. I'm bookending my top five with voice acting, but this series itself was not as successful as even like Marvel is, let's say, but it's because the series that came before it was very, very successful. This is the sequel in this series, directed by Peter Jackson. The movie where Benedict Cumberbatch's voice is called The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, and Benedict Cumberbatch voices Smaug, who is the dragon in this movie. And the only good thing about this movie is
Yes, yes.
Smaug. And
The only good thing about the trilogy, full stop.
yes, is Smaug. And it's because Benedict Cumberbatch voicing that character did so well. I'm not into villains, but I love Smaug. And for Hobbit being fine, and the unexpected journey or whatever, and then the Battle of the Five Armies not being good at all. But for the second one to shine out of the three, it says something, and it has a lot to do with Smug. Smug is a great character. It's well written. It's well, created. It knows what it is and what it means, and they casted the perfect voice,
They did.
Benedict Cumberbatch, because he seems like a professor, but he's a villain, and he's menacing, and it really shows in the voice, and it's perfect casting. So my number one is Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug in The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug.
Yes, I would if I was counting voice. I don't really count voice acting on my actors list, but I think if I did, then that would definitely probably would have replaced 1917 and probably would have made the top three. Top three, yeah.
Yeah.
But great performance in a bad movie, he can live with that. You can live with that. I can live with that. All his fans can live with that. Without Benedict Cumberbatch, the Hobbits would be more terrible. As I said, I hate the third movie, but the second one stands out purely because of Benedict Cumberbatch, and he is reunited with Martin Freeman, who is Watson in Sherlock. So it's nice to see their chemistry return as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sherlock, but I know that's where he shines, and I'm glad that people were happy to see them together. But good lists, I think. I think voice acting counts, so that's why I went. That's why I went the route that I did.
Don't blame me. Do you want to count them down?
All right. Yes. What's your number 5?
1917.
My number 5 is The Grinch.
My number 4 is the Mauritanian.
My number 4 is The Current War.
My number 3 is Doctor Strange in various Marvel movies.
My number 3 is Star Trek Into Darkness.
My number 2 is the upcoming Netflix movie, The Power of the Dog.
My number 2 is The Imitation Game.
And my number 1 is The Imitation Game.
And my number 1 is The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug.
Strong list, strong list.
Strong, very strong. Also Rand's Power of the Dog for sure. Also, Doctor Strange. I mean, how can it not be? He's so good as Doctor Strange.
And also Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, he was good in that.
Yes, very, very good. Let's see what else. There's another one or two I want to say. What do you? Well, Mauritanian is so dang good. Imitation Game, Avengers, obviously, in game. August Osage County. The Courier was really good this past year. He was good. The movie itself wasn't that good.
Yeah, so it's not as good as Power of the Dog then.
No. Black Mass. Billy Bulger, August Osage County. Warhorse.
Oh, I forgot. He's also in a British comedy film called Four Lions, which is really funny.
Four Lions.
It's got Riz Ahmed in it. It's really funny.
I think I've heard of that. He played Dominic Cummings in the movie Brexit, TV movie though.
I've not seen that, but it looks really funny.
He's also going to be in a movie called The Electric Life of Louis Wayne that has Taika Waititi in it. And
You need to see that.
the last thing I wanted to say... Oh, he's Shere Khan in Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, the straight-to-Netflix movie. So there's that as well.
Nice.
All right. That's all I have for Benedict.
Yeah, that's all I have for Benedict. Let's see what he brings us in the future. Today's recommendation is Power of the Dog. Check it out, December 1st when it's released. Make sure, I want everybody to watch it, everybody to comment on Facebook about it, talk about it, get other people watching it, and when the Fleming Awards hit and it gets nominations, vote on it.
Yes, vote on it. Or maybe other ones.
Or maybe other ones, yeah, because there are some other great movies this year.
Yes. Sweet. All right, yeah, comment down below with your favorite Benedict Cumberbatch performances. Find me at Worth the Movies and all the things. And yeah, check out our latest episode where we talked we ranked the 6 horror films that were nominated for Best Picture.
And also go on Robbie's Reviews to see my reviews and like and subscribe and comment.
Awesome. And yeah, so we'll talk soon, and until next time.
Until next time. Bye, Justin.
Bye.
Bye-bye.